So hello, today we are here to find out some warm-up activities that you can do in your online classrooms. So it's very important, especially when you're dealing with the little ones in the pre-primary, to get their attention. Sometimes they would have got up and it must be a little too sleepy time for them and they're still not awake. So you need to get their attention. You need to grab their attention. And how do you do that? Very important. You have only this particular space here wherein you can interact with your children. So your expressions, your hand movements are very important to grab their attention. So try to use your voice, your expression and your hand movements to grab their attention. For example, suppose you want to begin the class and you want to say hello or good morning. Try and incorporate by using some kind of finger puppets. Don't do it on a regular basis. Every day try a different way. For example, I have got a little parrot here, right? So before you start the class, you can see, hello children. Immediately the children will be wondering what's happened to ma'am and what's happened to her voice, and they'll turn around even if they're going to be sleepy to look at what's happening on the screen, and they'll see a little parrot and they'll be very happy and surprised and say, oh my god, that's a parrot, and then they'll all say hello, and then you can immediately start talking a little bit with the parrot. You can also try and introduce what concept you're going to be taking that particular day through the puppet. For example, if you're introducing the color green, for example, you could say, what color do you think am I? Am I looking very colorful? You can talk like that. So something related to your voice, something related to your expression, your hand movements, etc. Maybe you could talk about something else on another day. Of course, do not make it monotonous with respect to using the puppets. You could use other techniques through, I have a whale here, and you can start saying, hello all of you. And immediately with the gruff voice, you'll be wondering what this is. And then when you're going to be talking about fish, you're going to be talking about animals that live in water, you could use some kind of a puppet like this. If you're not going to be using any of the puppets, just don't worry. You could just use your fingers. That's very, very important. And as I told you, the expression and say, hello all of you. How are you? Things like that. Or you could just do a roly-poly action and say, good morning, how are we? Things like that. So that is to kind of get them interested, wanting to know what exactly is happening, and there is a little bit of a difference in the regular routine to your class. Another way of connecting with the children, as I told you, is to keep them engaged in music. They love music. They love something that is like a jingle. So try and incorporate, and it need not be something which is already there. You could make it yourself. That's where your creativity comes into play. You could make it yourself, or you could take up some particular rhyme jingle and change it a little bit depending on what your children can absorb. For example, let me say, this is a very cute one, but I have altered it. Again, as I told you, it's up to you to alter. The first 2-3 times, maybe you sing it yourself, let the children listen, because they'll be very thrilled and they will be absolutely in attention to understand what you're singing. Maybe after 3-4 times, the children will pick it up and they can sing along with you. For example, if you have, every single cell in my body is happy. Every single cell in my body is good. Oh, thank you, Mom. I feel so good. Every single cell in my body is good. I thank you, Dad. I feel so good. Every single cell in my body is good. Every single cell in my body is happy. Every single cell in my body is good. Oh, thank you, Mom. I feel so good. Every single cell in my body is good. I thank you, Dad. I feel so good. Every single cell in my body is good. So this could be something which you can start with, after your good morning session. So immediately they are caught in attention, and it need not always have to be something that is related only to, a particular song or a rhyme. You can create your own things. It's absolutely nothing. Or it could be something which, for example, the bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain to see what he could see. Things which are maybe a nursery rhyme, maybe a song which is associated with some kind of an action. So the moment, children will keep listening to you and they will start imitating this action, you've got their attention. And then you can introduce the concept. As we all know that the attention span for the children in the pre-primary age is very less. So we need to have their full attention and focus when we are teaching them certain concepts. So try these warm-up activities and I'm sure you will do extremely well in getting their attention. Another thing which I always say is a desi version, I would say. I think all of you are aware with Simon Says, things like that. Instead of saying Simon Says, I will say Raju Kaka says. Raju Kaka says, touch your head. Raju Kaka says, pull your nose. Raju Kaka says, pull your ears. Raju Kaka says, smile. Raju Kaka says, cheek, touch your cheek. And then try and incorporate only an action without saying Raju Kaka says, and they shouldn't be doing it. For example, Raju Kaka says, touch your nose. Raju Kaka says, touch your head. Raju Kaka says, smile. Raju Kaka says, pull your cheek. Close your eyes. And you would have seen some of the children closing their eyes and say, I caught you. I didn't say Raju Kaka says. So you could use a desi version. If you're familiar with something else, you could use Swati Mausi or Raju Kaka, or just say, Bhuvna Auntie says, if that's your name, whatever is the teacher's name, you could say, Bhuvna Auntie says, touch your nose. Bhuvna Auntie says, clap your hands. Close your eyes. Oh no, you will not do it because Bhuvna Auntie didn't say that, right? So get their attention in these kind of things and then you will have a wonderful group of children fully listening to you, and use up these kind of activities in between the important concepts that you're going to be teaching. So that is very, very important. Remember, your voice is a superpower that you need to use. Your facial expression is another superpower that you use. Your gestures, your hand movements. Remember, we are limited to the screen space, which only captures this much. So your hand gestures is again very, very important. So utilize these three, and the added attention that they love music, and get their attention when you have to say these things. Use your Raju Kaka says, or your Simon says, or your aunt says, or Bhuvna ma'am says, or your whatever Mausi says, etc. to even talk about concepts. Say, Bhuvna auntie says, get something which is green in color. So the children will run around and pick something which is green in color. Bhuvna auntie says, get something which is brown in color. So they'll go and pick up something which is brown in color, and then say, go and get a blue color. But then you would not have said Bhuvna auntie says or whatever is the prefix. So, you will say their listening power also increases. So they will be very attentive to what you're saying. So try these out and do mention in the comment section if they've been useful. Thank you.